I just got tired of like having.
When did y'all meet?
Oh man, we known each other since high school.
For real? Were y'all dating in high school?
We liked each other, but things just didn't play itself out.
Oh.
I got stories for that, man. It's like amazing.
But you guys came back to each other?
Yeah, man. The thing is that like a lot of people know Josh is not my biological son. But
See, I didn't know that.
Yeah, Josh. But I've known Josh since he was 4 years old. He came into my life on it. Yeah.
That's crazy. When I found out that he wasn't your biological son, I tripped out because when I was looking you up, right, I was like, I think Chris loves his son more than I love my son. Because I was like, you have so much support for him.
Yeah.
Not saying I don't love Elijah, but I was like, I want to love him publicly the way that you love Josh. And I was tripping. I was like, that's dope. So you met him when he was 4?
4 going on 5. Man, yeah, it's a cool story because it plays into like Kobe Bryant too. Like everything.
Let's hear about it. Let's go.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me about that.
So basically, like Daisy and I really, really kind of had a crush on each other in high school.
Yeah.
Right? So I was stupid. I ended up had opportunity with her, but I ended up getting back with my ex.
Okay.
Which was horrible. Like, you look back.
You had to learn something.
Well, when you look back at your exes and you look back at that specific ex, you're like, what was I thinking? Like love is blind.
How long were y'all together for?
Oh man, she was my first girlfriend ever in high school. So we were together for like 3 years. Oof. And I felt like love was final. Like, this is it. Like, I found her.
That's crazy.
When you're immature, you don't understand. Like this, like what I always tell Josh, like what you like now is not what you're gonna like in 10 years.
That's facts.
Trust me. You're gonna be like, I can't believe.
That's facts.
So like, we had an opportunity, and she was a really good friend, and we really cared about each other. And like, I blew it. Like, I let her slip away, and so she was always like the one that got away. You know that mentality.
Yeah.
But I always had a crush on her, and we had the same friends. Like, I've always been really good friends with her cousins. So that's how we all met. So we would keep like, we get information from our friends about each other.
Yeah.
And so when I finally found out that Daisy was no longer with her ex, that's when I was like, man, I gotta go in. Like, if I don't go in right now, like, I'm gonna lose. Because everybody at this time, Daisy was like a hot commodity. Like, everybody in our circle.
Were you dating somebody at the time?
Yeah, but that's
you let that go.
Right. So the thing about it, everybody was kind of after D, and so like I was like, man, I gotta go full force. Yeah. So like, and the funny thing about it is like I knew that she was single, but that usually when people break up, they always get back together. So I was
give it a second.
A little skeptical.
Give it a second. Yeah.
So that's when my good friend Richard was I just come back from Armani Exchange. I was a manager at the time at Armani Exchange, and he was like, "Hey, let's go to the club." I'm like, "Nah, man, I don't want to go to the club. I don't want to go to bars. I don't want to do nothing. I'm tired." He's like,
"How old are you right now?"
23.
Still pretty young.
Still pretty young. So he was like, "But Daisy's there." I'm like, "Yep." Do you talk about Daisy Alvarez? He's like, "Yeah, Daisy Alvarez." I'm like, "I'm cool. Let me get up and go." So we met at the bar in the Village, and I saw her, but my best friend John, a sports trap, he just became like super single. Like, he'd been in a relationship forever. So he was already ready to like mingle.
Yeah.
And so we go in the club, and he sees Daisy first. She's standing there, and I'm like, bro, because you gotta
call dibs on it.
You gotta call dibs. Like, hey, that's me. We've been talking. I'm with her. Like, yeah, we've been. That's me. He's like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
That's the golden rule with your boys. You gotta call.
It's dope that he respects that though, because I know boys that are like, is it Facebook official? But they're not really your boys. They're not really right. They're not really your boys.
No, because your boys always know, and it's the golden rule. Like, like if you were talking, or you even have feelings for her,
if you look at her first and you recognize,
you gotta announce it.
Yep.
Because if you don't announce it, it is fair game.
That's right.
It is fair game. So, and I went up to her, and I was just like, hey, heard you're, single now, and at the time, like, she just didn't believe me because, like, and at that time, I was definitely. Every time she'd see me or hear me, I was always with a different girl. So I was being young, you know what I mean? And you try to go, you gotta weed through do everything before you get to everyone. So,
I get it.
So yeah, and so like I told her, I really, really liked her and whatnot. But the thing is like she didn't believe me. She was definitely had a force field around her emotionally. So we really didn't like it didn't spark, it didn't hit.
Yeah.
And so I was turning 24. It was my birthday. I was like, I gotta go, about to go party. I gotta get my outfit at the mall, the Galleria. Plus I gotta pick up those new Kobe's. And these were the Kobe's for the All-Star edition when Houston, when the All-Star game in Houston. So sure enough, like I see Daisy in the mall at Champs, and she's with Josh. So this was my first time I ever met Josh.
Did you know she had a kid at the time?
Yeah, I knew she had a kid. I've just never got to like meet him. I've only seen him as a baby, but never actually interacted with him. So he's 4, and he actually, my birthday is February 26th. His birthday is February 25th. Oh. So she was there shopping for him for a birthday gift for shoes.
Okay.
So she's over there, like she's looking at all the shoes, and I see her, and I just walked up to her and it's like, hey, how you doing? And I see Josh, and he has like this bag of candy. At the time, Dylan's candy was like a big thing at the Galleria.
What is that, Dylan?
So Dylan's was like, I forgot who Dylan, basically it was a daughter of a famous designer.
Is it a candy store though?
It's a candy store. They don't have it no more.
Yeah.
But like it was very like, very boutique type of candy store. So he had like a bag full of candy. And so like I'm over here like talking to her and I'm trying to interact with him. I love kids. Like that's one thing about me. You'll get to know I love kids. So he has this bag of candy. I'm like, hey, can I have one? Can I have one of the gummy sharks? And so like he looks at me and like he takes the gummy shark out. And I thought he's gonna give it to me, but he doesn't. He puts it in his mouth, like all in his mouth, and then like hands it to me.
Oh, he's testing you.
Yo, he's definitely testing
Alpha male at 4?
At 4. Already.
That's some
my
silverback
mom. Like,
gorilla.
Like, this is not right. Like,
okay.
He's like, oh, you want my candy?
Yo,
you want this candy? And you want my candy?
Respect Josh. Okay.
So he was just like, boom, man. And Daisy was like kind of embarrassed. She was like, yo, Josh, don't do that. And I could just see Josh is like,
what'd you do?
So I was like, I was gonna eat it. Like I was.
That's right. You put it in your mouth.
Yeah, I was gonna be like, I'll show you.
You put it back in his mouth.
I was gonna be like, yeah, I got this. Because I know kids do the craziest things, and so like I wanted to show her too. Like that didn't bother me.
You were down, right? Yeah,
it didn't bother me at all. So in the crazy story is that she was looking at shoes and she starts asking me like, what about these shoes? What about those shoes? And I'm like, no. And I started noticing that the shoes she was really picking up were like shoes that were at a certain price point.
Okay.
And I was like, okay. And I remember growing up with my mom, like, us not having a lot of money. I didn't realize like I know what that was about. So she ends up leaving because I actually pointed out those Kobe's and she's like, no, like, they're this, and this is the Kobe one now. So she's like, no, like, it looks pretty expensive and, it's okay. So she ends up leaving. So like, I was just like, bet, like Josh is super cute. His mom is super fine. She's the one I got away. Like, and it's his birthday. His birthday's like my birthday.
Yeah.
I'm gonna buy the Kobe's for him. So I bought the Kobe's.
Yeah.
And like literally like looked the whole mall.
For her.
I think I found her like Charlotte Russe or like Forever 21. One of those shows and I reached places and ended up like bringing her and it's like, this is for Josh, this is a gift. So what ends up happening is I just asked her to say, hey, like I'm going out for my birthday. Would you be my date? So she ended up being my date.
That's what's
up.
And
from that point we were talking. Yeah. But we had to talk for a whole year. I asked her to be my girlfriend for a whole year before she said yes.
Yeah. Because
she just didn't believe me. Because again, I had a reputation of talking to a lot of girls. Like we actually were talking at a party and like at the time, I completely forgot about this. I was just like, I'm going in. I completely forgot I was actually talking to another girl. And I actually so I ended up having to like, we didn't get to like hang out the girl I was talking to for Valentine's.
Yeah.
And I met Daisy at the party and I was like, Daisy, listen, there was a house party we were at as we were talking. I was like, hey, I gotta let you know, like, I gotta give this Valentine's gift that I had already bought for this girl, but I'm gonna break up with her and I'm gonna come right back. So this is like serious.
I can appreciate the honesty. Well, yeah. How did she take it though?
She was like, she'll tell you, she was like, are you really? Like, really? I'm like, I'm being honest with you. Like, I have no feelings. I've only been talking to her for a couple of weeks. Like she lives out there in Clear Lake. Like, it's really nothing going. She's like super young. I'm like, it's okay. She gave me a gift. I gave her, like, it was a Build-A-Bear. I was it's whatever. I said, but I got to go and let her know that we can't be talking, we're not going to be talking anymore, but that I want to talk to you. Yeah. So she's like, okay. Like, girls, like, okay, whatever. Like, this fool is crazy. Yeah. So literally got in truck, drove all the way to Clear Lake, gave her the Build-A-Bear. I was like, hey, I just want to tell you I had a great time. But
gave her a breakup gift?
Basically, I guess is what you call it now. So basically, I was like, here's the Build-A-Bear, and this girl that I've always had a crush on is back in my life, and I'm just gonna have to go this route. She's like, there's a connection there, and of course she was not cool and not happy about it.
It is what it is.
I don't know what she did with that Build-A-Bear, but I didn't want it. Until this day, Daisy will never ever accept a Build-A-Bear. Just so you know. So that
Build-A-Bear is what you give a girl under her 20s, right? Like
yeah, definitely in the 20s or like even younger. But like at the time, like Build-A-Bear is like you could get them like dress however that
right.
So yeah, so that's basically like, and I spent a whole year grinding it out. Like every day, it felt like I was asking her to be my girlfriend. She would tell me no. She had a.
I appreciate that though.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because you're putting in work, right? Actions speak louder than words.
Absolutely.
Do you think your relationship is stronger now though because you had that year of proving yourself and making sure that she understood where you were coming from an honest place, a genuine place?
Absolutely. I think for her, number one, she said, if you're gonna date me, just know my son's coming everywhere I go.
Love that.
So I was like, I didn't want it any other way. I mean, our first dates were like our dates where we go out was Josh's favorite place until this day is Olive Garden. So we're going to Olive Garden every day.
Yeah,
like at the time I was like trimmed, but I started gaining lots of weight eating Olive Garden like every day. Like Josh was like,
he's setting you up. Josh is setting you up.
Josh 3 days a week at Olive Garden.
He knows what he's doing.
With the Bellini peach tea.
He's trying to get you off your game.
Yeah, he was. The thing is, but the cool thing about Josh is that there's such a deep connection already because the first time that we actually went out and had dinner, like he was coloring and I was trying to show him how to like color and kind of blend in and stuff like that. And he sat on my lap and Daisy day one. Daisy was amazed by that too because she's like, he's not like that. So there was already like, we started off as friends and we worked our way being best friends. And even with our relationship, like Daisy and I, like we made sure that we had boundaries. Like we wanted to ease in for Josh because for Josh at that time, like, his dad was still a superhero.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to come in and
I didn't think about that. Yeah.
And I didn't want to come in and interfere in that. And one thing about, if you're ever dating a woman with a child, you have to also honor that child's parent, regardless of the circumstances and situation.
You're right, because you want to be a dividing force, right?
Absolutely. And I have people all the time talk to me. They're talking to girls that have children, and there's a baby daddy, and they're like, "How did you do it?" I say, first of all, you got to understand that your ego has to come last. There's going to be times where his dad's going to be number one in his life.
Yeah.
And there's going to be times where you might feel uncomfortable, but you have to look at the bigger picture. Like you have to understand that you're not his father, but it doesn't mean that you can't be a father figure to him.
Yo, but if you're dating someone that has a child or children, right? You have to be almost all in from the get.
Absolutely.
Right? Like you can't dabble with Daisy and then maybe have Josh come along or not. Like you have to know early on, I'm building something with Daisy.
Absolutely. And
that's heavy for 23.
It is heavy for 23 and it also makes you look inside yourself for as accountability and responsibility.
What do you mean by that?
Because you are no longer just dating you're not just dating Daisy, you're dating Daisy and her son Josh.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna try to build a relationship for them, it's easy if you get married and you're dating somebody and it's just two people and there's no child involved. Because you're working on that child.
Right.
You throw a child in there.
But you also have a get out of jail free card because you don't have a child. I mean, I'm gonna say it like that, but like if it doesn't work out, you could break up.
You can break up.
It's easier to break up, I guess what you're saying.
I would say it's easier to break up maybe in that sense, but at the same time, like when you're building a relationship with a child, that bond becomes really strong.
Heavy.
So if you guys don't work out,
heavy.
And you think about it, if that child's mother and the father didn't work out, and now you come in the picture, and now you guys didn't work out, that's putting conflict in that child's life in many ways.
That's exponential though, right? Like that's not like 1-2 relationships work out. This is every man my mother is working out with.
Something, and especially because the thing about kids, I believe kids are, when we talk about energy.
Yeah.
Kids pick up on who's legitimately serious and honest and real. I really feel that because kids are really in tune with that creative side, the imagination, that pure honesty form. So, they know the guys who are coming in their mom's life that just are just trying to, get in and get out.
Does Josh remember you from the beginning?
Yeah, I mean, it was just like, we were just like, it was just
so what does he say now? Like when he remembers you first coming into their lives?
Josh always thought of me as his mama's bestest friend and his best friend.
That's dope though.
Yeah, and it's so funny because like we became so close that Daisy would like our jobs, like I would work at night and Daisy's job would be in the daytime. And so like at the time like she would even let me watch babysit Josh.
Yeah.
So we were always like when I say we're boys, like,
Yeah.
we have always been best friends and boys because we were always doing crazy stuff. Like I'm the type of person because I'm a kid at heart, like I'm always trying to like I'm allowing my juvenile side to come out. So you wanna have an imagination? Tight. I'm about to counter my imagination.
Right.
So I mean things building like Spider-Man costume out of construction paper.
Heck yeah.
Wolverine costumes out of construction paper. To my favorite story about Josh is one day he was like, hey, and he always do this. So like
what
kid,
is this?
So like a kid be like, I have an idea, right?
Oh.
So he would be like, I have an idea. And so he was like, how about we make a potion? I was like,
oh, okay.
A potion. Cool. Like, what kind of potion you want to make, Josh? He's like, a potion that would help me and my mom get back together. Now, think about this. This is when I said the whole ego thing.
What does that mean?
So he was still hoping that him and his mom and dad would get back together.
Ah.
Right. So, like, that's why I said the whole ego thing. You got to really check your ego. So I'm like, okay, yeah. So we're over there making all kinds of, using vinegar and whatever I had in my cabinet. That's what we're trying to make this potion. So we're making a potion, and I go, hey, Josh, but if we make this potion and it works, and your mom and dad gets back together, then like, I won't be able to hang out with you no more. And he goes, he clicked. He understood. He's like, you know what? I have a better idea. How about we make a potion to where not only does my mom and dad get back together, but you become best friends with my dad.
Ooh.
That's love.
Pure heart.
Pure heart.
Yeah.
Love, because he understood like the connection of me and him.
Do Daisy and his dad have a relationship, like a friendship or anything?
Yeah, man. I think they have an understanding. And I think it's the best you can have. I mean, you it's the most important thing is making sure that you do what's best for your child. And
that's crazy,
have an understanding. I mean, because like, listen, man, like, you're talking about my ego. I can only imagine his ego too. There's a new man coming in his life. The fear that this man is going to try to take over my son's life or try to be his father. Yeah. And I think over the years, I think like, I think that if you do it in inches, and you do it in a way that's empathetic to the situation, even if the other person on this side you don't necessarily agree with, or the way they go about things in life, you don't like it. Yeah. You also have to remember, you have to keep your feelings and your opinions to yourself and focus on the most important thing, which is the child, and loving them and caring about them. And I think a lot of parents in those relationships, especially blended relationships like that, I think a lot of times you'll hear, whether it's the baby daddy or the baby mama, they will sit here and badmouth the other parent. And that's one thing we never did, because at the end of the day, like that respect factor has to be utmost. You know what I mean? Like, and I always say this, like, Josh will figure it out on his own. He'll figure out what's right, what's wrong. And he'll let him be the one who decides his own opinion. Don't try to project your own opinion onto the child.
I think it's working, right? Because we jumped right into everything. Yeah, we did. Which is dope. It's fine. So let me cheers to you and a happy belated birthday.
Oh, yeah, man.
So let's backtrack for a second, right? This is new. And I want everyone to understand. Chris, tell them how I don't know you.
So I met Andrew, basically, like, he shouted me out and was like, man, like, you were like one of the few people when we first came out with the podcast. He's like, yo, I love your podcast, it's dope. Like,
yeah.
And I was like, man, thanks. Like, because I seen you and I've watched you dance, and you got to witness the whole, like, with the baby, so Taylor, so I was just like, man, that's really cool. And then, like, I've always heard good things about you, like, in the dance community. So it was just like, man, that's really cool. And I remember telling Dave, like, man, Andrew's like he's showing me love, man. Like, that makes me feel good. But like our conversations were always in passing. If not in passing, they were always through like Instagram messaging, right?
Very, very quick. Very quick. Like a sentence here, sentence there. Hey, how you doing? Right. Good. All right. Check back in next week.
Absolutely. I think the most time we ever spent was probably at Van's wedding. And that's when I got to hold your little guy.
That's right.
And he's just adorable.
Thanks, man.
I love that guy. He's just so funny. And so like, and everybody knows, like, on IG, you're one of my favorite people to like follow, just because I see the passion and I see the excitement you have
Thanks,
with your son. And I love watching men with their children because I just think that, listen, moms are the foundation. We know that.
100%.
Moms,
100%.
Moms are the foundation.
Not
they
taking
get all
anything
the
away from
love.
them.
They get all the love. They get they deserve it, right?
Yes.
Mother's Day is like one of the top holidays in the world. You want to know what's one of the last holidays of
Father's Day. Number 17.
Number 17. You already yes. So fathers, and then like it's just fathers usually they just get a bad reputation. So when I see young involved fathers, it strikes something in me. So I always love like watching you with that. So it was always in passing, but it seems like the brief conversations that we always had, it always felt like we knew each other for like a long time.
Mad love, right? So the first time I met you, I think Josh was at the studio. He was dancing. He's amazing.
Thank you.
I think the second time I saw you was at that Vietnamese spot after the JT concert. Oh. Right? So I'm sitting next to you and Josh, and Dewey and I were at the second show of the JT concert. I'm like, who's this family right here? Josh is amazing. He got pulled out to dance with them that night. And I was like, are these his parents? Like, I've never met parents like this before. Yeah. And I knew immediately that you and Daisy were people that I wanted to learn from, to have around. And we didn't really talk.
No.
At all. And so it was mad love when you had the podcast. I got to hear your voice more and figure out what you were about. And so now that I am working on this platform, I was like, I have to get Chris. I have to get Chris. So yesterday was the first time that we spoke for more than 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And now we're diving deep. And I am so excited to learn from you, to hear about your story and everything. Because it's seeing you with Josh makes me excited to be a dad. Like it's overwhelming, and I didn't get it. I didn't understand what it meant to be. Like people always say, when do you feel like you became a dad?
Yeah.
I think I'm still figuring it out. Like every day is better than the last. And I thought, I feel like a dad yesterday. And now I'm like, he did something crazy today. Like I feel even more proud. So when do you start feeling like Josh is, and you and Josh had that father-son relationship?
Josh, sad to say, it was not sad, but for me it is, because
sure.
He is a spin image of me in so many ways. Like the things that we listen to, from our music to our style, to our passion for shoes, to our passion for sports teams. One thing about Josh is like whatever I put in his palette, he ate it up. He enjoyed it and he embraced it. And in many ways, like we're always even now, as Josh is 18 now.
Yeah.
He gets into,
it's crazy.
We get into competition of trying to like show each other like the next best cool thing. Not really having the father in my life that I wanted, and that I needed.
Yeah.
It really it definitely propelled me to, like, when I got into Josh's life, to do everything I can to give him everything he needed from a support factor. And
not even as a father figure,
just a support. Just a support factor.
That's amazing.
Because a lot of times fathers, we always hear the saying, like, fathers, they want their sons to be better than them, right? But if you're going to embrace that concept, you also have to embrace that. Why do you want your child to be better than you? Are you trying to put a narrative on them that because you weren't successful or because you didn't achieve what you wanted to?
Yes.
Because if that's the route you're going, then you might end up putting more pressure and you might push him further away.
Yes.
So with Josh, it was all about, like, no, I don't want you to just be better than me. I want you to be the greatest man that's ever lived on this earth. But I also want
like
you
a standalone great man.
Great man. But I also want you to be you. I want you to create and build your own legacy. And I just want to do everything I can to help you find the legacy you want to build. So it's always been that way. And I think for me and him, I think our first trip together, which was in Seattle.
Yeah.
So it was the Ignite.
What is Ignite?
This is, oh my God, Creative Minds. So Creative Minds at this time, Daisy had woke me up at like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. She was really trying to find something to put Josh in that was really going to help his motivation, and most importantly, his self-esteem.
Yeah.
So Ignite had like Kaylin Watson, it had Kalani Marks,
Fire.
it had
So this is a dance convention.
It's just, I mean, you name it, everybody was there. And this was going to be in Seattle. And she asked me, she's like, would you take Josh? And I'm like, hell yeah, number one. My favorite show when I was a kid was Reading Rainbow. And they had a whole thing on Seattle and the Pike Market. And I've always wanted to go to Seattle, especially when they're throwing the fish. I was like, that's been...
You got to go to the
That's like number one place I ever went to. Plus me and Josh can actually go on a trip together. And Josh had already talking about how he wanted to be a professional dancer. And I was like, well, this is going to be a great opportunity for me and him to bond and also show him how to take care of his responsibility if he is traveling. So
were you a dancer?
No, never.
Okay.
No, I mean, I
so that's a new world for you too, going in.
New role. And so we go to this with to Ignite Seattle, and we walk in, and nobody knows who we are. All these kids have gone to all these conventions. All these kids are like major, and you know, like this is a huge. And so basically, Kalani was like, asked Josh, like, you know. Well, I asked Kalani, like, where Josh is going to be. He's going to be in the advanced or the intermediate. And, like, CJ was telling me on the side, like, you know, make sure Josh does advanced. And so, like, Kalani was basically like, hey, he needs to come in the morning time for the intermediate and then come at night for the advanced the first day, and we'll figure out where we're going to put Josh.
That's fair.
Because he never seen Josh.
That's fair.
So Josh took he took the 5 classes in the morning, and then he came and took the 5 classes.
So many classes.
So
many classes.
I mean, when I say like, I mean, it had everybody there. I'm trying to think of all the names. I can't believe I can't even think of all the names. It had so many people and so many like super fire dancers now. So we do it, and like. The next day comes and it's sort of like, hey, Kalani, where do you want Josh to be? And he's like, we'll do the whole like 5 classes in the morning and 5 classes at night.
So you got both.
So this is a 5-day dance.
Intensive.
Yeah, definitely. And this is like, these classes are super hard. And at the end of the day, Josh ended up taking 50 classes in 5 days.
That's insane.
Now, the crazy thing about it is that Josh was killing it. But Kalani wanted to teach Josh the importance of respecting your elders and also understanding your place, which I love Kalani.
I love that.
Kalani is such a good... So he made Josh always dance in the back. So you gotta imagine, Josh at that time was really small. So everybody else is super huge, and Josh is having to dance. Even when he got selects, like when they select, and he was chose to dance, and they would try to put him in the front, like not put him in the back.
So I understand that because I'm a dancer and I get why you would do that. Not everyone does though. So explain why that's important for Josh to learn and for him to be in the back for a little bit.
Well, I think it's important because you got to understand what hard work is. And you also have to understand that not everything's going to be given to you.
Yes.
And appreciate the moment. It may not be the moment you want it to be.
Yeah.
But if you're in the moment, and you're even in that particular moment, man, embrace that.
The fact that he even got groups.
Oh my God. First of all, no other kid there, and Josh will tell you, no other kid there got to take 50 classes. Most kids only took the 5 that they got.
Right.
He took 50 classes morning, and he got up at 7 o'clock in the morning. I made him make sure to set his alarm. Yeah. Have his outfit ready that he was going to wear prior, have everything night up. Get up early. Always get yourself at least an hour earlier ahead of time. That way you can eat, and then call I had him make sure that he called the hotel so they would call him and wake him up, and then be ready to get out there.
How old is he?
Josh had to be about, I would say 15, 16 years old.
Okay.
No,
so
14, 15.
He's a little grown.
He's a little grown, but
his
14,
voice
15.
is deep. He's a little bit of peach fuzz.
I think he was 14. So yeah, he was 14 going on 15. So he was still small though. He didn't really kind of like, but this was huge because he'd never been in this type of like elite dancers. Yeah. So to watch Josh, and like every day I would sit there at Creative Minds in Seattle, beautiful place by the way. The studio is amazing. Yeah. We got one in LA now, but they would be like, Chris, like, you can leave when you want to. I'm like, nah, I'm about to watch this. Yeah. Because watching Josh go out there and grind. Yeah. I think that was the moment for me that I realized how much Josh loved and had a passion for dance. Yeah. And I remember at one time watching him dance, and this was like day 4, and I remember him waking up and him being so sore and so tired, his knees were hurting him, and he was like, I was like, Josh, you don't have to go dance today, man. Take a break, man. You gave out? Like, I'm like, you've been grinding. He's like, nah, I gotta go. Yeah. And so I was watching him like battle and fight the pain and the tightness and I'm over there running and trying to get in more fluids and stuff like that. And it became so compelling to watch. It was almost as if you're watching like your son like in football practice.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like he was going out there and he was smashing with the big boys. He would get knocked down, but he'd get right back up. And I remember one time just like literally like just crying. Like I remember like kind of getting me emotional because I just realized like this is what fatherhood is about. When you can find and see your son grow up in front of you, you can see your son, all these different, morals and ethics and attributions that you have tried to install in these values, you try to install in your child, both Daisy and I, and you can see it work itself out. Most kids would have quit. Most kids wouldn't have thought about taking 50 classes, but there is desire and a discipline that I'm going to ride this out because I want it that bad.
Yeah.
And I've always told Josh, I will support you in anything you want to do as long as you show me that you want it.
Yes.
You want it, meaning what are you going to do to sacrifice and make it happen? And watching him do that, I mean, I literally was like bawling and crying. I remember Kalani's partner, she was just like, oh my God, like, why are you crying? I'm like, because I'm just so proud. Like this kid shouldn't even be taking this many classes. Like he's like probably should have said stop dancing because you really are like hurt. But he was so defined because he wanted to go out there and not just he loved it, number one, but also prove that he was worthy to be there in that environment.
I think you're a competitor too, right?
Yeah.
So you get it. Like you got that rocky moment where you're not gonna throw the towel in. You're gonna go all rounds, even if you're gonna get knocked up, right? And so I think you get that for Josh. And I'll share this too. When I met Josh, I thought he was a ninja, quiet professional, doesn't speak a lot, goes in classes, murders, right? It comes out and just so respectful. I think hearing stories like that, I understand why he works so hard and why you'd be so proud in those moments. And he just the nicest man. He's the nicest man. Nice man, right? He's a nice kid. He's a nice man.
To me, he's still a kid. Yeah, it's so funny because Daisy and I have done a great job. When we got married, the biggest thing for her was like she felt like there was a lot of time missed out. Not being married, not having two people in a relationship to help Josh follow his dream. So when we got married, that's when we were able to put Josh in dance class. Josh has only been dancing, honestly, for about going on maybe 5 or 6 years now.
Yeah, but he's took more classes in that 1 week than most people did all year.
And so we've done a great job partying it up. I mean, the late nights, 12, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning on the work night, me going to pick it. I'm taking me waiting in the car for Josh to come up because we knew how much he loved it. But I mean, I can tell you like our drives to any time he's dancing, he'll tell you like I mean, this is gonna get out now, but it's ruthless. I'm like, Josh, whoever the best dancer is in the class, stand next to him. And I want you to kill him. Not only that, but every time you go and dance, whoever you're dancing next to, I want you to do such a good job that they just want to quit and never want to take dance again. Like the less people you have to worry about, the less competition.
Right.
Go ahead and just show them that like, nah, this guy, I'm just too good and I just need to leave.
Yeah.
Like kill him.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I think he's a ninja. Because he's so nice, but I see that when he's dancing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, luckily he's never danced next to me. But I've seen it when I've seen him in groups because you watch this kid, this man, and you're like, amazing. And he's so good and he dances from such a pure heart, such a pure place. You don't even get jealous, right? Like that's what I love about Josh and why I think you guys done such a nice job about it is I'm older than him. I've danced longer than him, nowhere near his skill level, right? But I'm like, I don't even get jealous. There's such a respect of someone did something right along the way.
Yeah.
I love that you're doing what you love to do. And so this conversation means so much to me because I have this kid now who is learning to walk, right? And we're talking about Josh who's just murdering classes. And Taylor and I have conversations daily about what is this kid going to be into? When is he going to figure it out, right? Because I love dance, but I didn't touch it until I was 21, 22. I was always into hip hop, always into music, right? I was emceeing, I was writing all the time, like all that. And then I was like, I finally found dance because I was chasing girls, right? But I hope my son finds that. And when he does, I lean in the way you did, right? I lean in, like, if I don't know anything about it, we're going to go travel across the country and make that happen. So with Josh being 18 now, right? He wants to move to LA. After everything's over, I'm sure he's going to find his way, right? Does that mean, how are you going to handle that distance? You got cheerleaded for a little bit further now, right? Like,
yeah, it is. Watching his mom when he turned 18, watching her extremely emotional, especially when before this whole COVID-19, he was ready to leave this summer and
I remember
watching her really, really take it hard. And I'm like, don't worry, baby, he's gonna be great. This is when we gotta trust our parenting, all the values you've installed in him. This is when we gotta really trust the process. Process. We gotta trust the process.
Trust the process.
He's gonna make mistakes, but he's gonna bounce back because he understands what grinding means and what being disciplined and prioritizing means. He's got this.
Yes. You taught him how to wake up in the morning, go to work,
prioritizing everything, most important thing. So, but on the side, like, I was over crying, like a baby crying because the thought of him being away from me and something happening to him and not being able to be there for him was heartbreaking. And it's still heartbreaking thinking about it because he is going to leave. COVID-19 is eventually going to be gone. And he's going to go out there and he's going to, whether it's dance or some other career, he's going to leave the nest. Yeah. And that's when you have to learn how to love truly from the bleachers. You're really in the bleachers, and that's the hard part. So like right now, like these moments with him every day, with your son, like embrace those moments and enjoy every second because I remember when watching Happy Feet with Josh when he was little and him loving that movie. We watched the movie like 5 times in a row. Like I bet. It was, so like Josh the type of person, whatever he likes, he'll keep watching it over and over again. I remember he loved that movie so much that he was trying to like be Happy Feet. And I remember taking his Vans and like gluing quarters to the bottom of it.
So they could tap?
So they could tap. So he was out there. Now, of course, I'm sure Daisy and his grandparents were like, oh my God, what a job.
Right.
But that's just it. Like those little moments and them getting in your lap and hugging you and kissing you and
the best right now.
The best. Because, and that's why I say love it and enjoy it. Yeah. Because in a blink of an eye, they're 18 talking about, hey man, what's up? Elbows. Like, I
can't wait. I can't wait to embarrass him. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, that's the best part.
I can't wait to pick him up, just give him a big old kiss and hug. Here's the thing. I hope he's cool enough to lean back in and be like, yeah, I'm gonna hug my dad back.
Absolutely.
I didn't get that until I didn't understand how cool it was to love your dad and show affection until after school was done. And I wish I would have don't tease me real quick. Like, this is real. Let me have this moment. But I can't wait to embarrass the shit out of him.
Because it's tough, because you think about when you were a teenager, like you're trying to figure it out. Because I think honestly, like the worst times for anybody is teenager years, adolescent years, like the worst.
There's too much stuff going on.
It's too. And
outside, inside your body. Like,
absolutely
insane.
And so like you're trying to like take guidance.
Yeah.
From your family and from your parents, but at the same time, you're still trying to show that you're mature enough to handle any situation that comes your way.
And you know everything.
You know everything. Yeah. All you got to do is hop on Instagram and you know everything. So
that makes it even worse. Okay.
So and that's the tough part because everyone it's so funny because people always come to Daisy and they're like, oh, you guys are such cool parents, and we're like, Josh, you hear that? We're cool parents. And Josh,
side note, let me jump real quick. You're not only cool parents, you're the best dressed parents.
Oh, we appreciate that.
Anytime we go out, y'all, you can see the kicks right now, but
appreciate that. Yeah. We that's just saying we all have the same style. We all have the same. We all our palettes, our color palettes. So just the things that we see and is all we're a very close family.
I
think that's the hard part too. Is just you have to accept them. I remember when he was 16 and. He got a little front with me in the response, oh, hey, hey, I'm the father here. I'm the dad. Hey, you'll have your moment one day to shine, but right now you ain't shining here. But you have to also, and I think that's the key is that you really have to understand that you don't know a damn thing, and that every day is a new opportunity to learn something more about yourself. And I think. Every parent wants to be the best parent, but I think in order to be the best parent, you have to accept that they're gonna be days where you're absolutely the worst parent. When you're the worst parent,
I'm scared of that. I'm not gonna lie. I'm so new at this thing. I'm scared of it. But here's something I'll share too is based on what I've seen, and a lot of my friends are just having kids or they have kids that are very, very young still. And the dads that I talk to are still very wanting to be Superman, right? They're very worried about the day that they lose superhero status.
Yeah.
And I get it. It's an ego thing. We talked briefly about masculinity and male ego, right? But I'll share this. As a son, the day I realized my dad wasn't Superman was the day we got closer. Because I realized he was a human, he was a man, and I was trying to be a man. And so it made it more attainable to see that he was flawed. So, you know, Josh is older now. You guys have a very special relationship. You know, does he still see you as Superman? Like, I think he does.
I mean, you know, he's never told me that. Shout out Josh. Let me know if you think I'm a superhero. Hopefully it's a good one, like Wolverine. No, but I think
the Beast.
Yeah, that'd be tight. I think for Josh, you know, I think the most important thing is that, you know, you hit on it, is that you have to show and be transparent about your flaws as a man.
Wait, and we don't get taught that.
No, not at all.
Yeah. I think we're still learning some of this thing in this generation, and you're only a little bit older than me. A little bit. I'm gonna give you a little bit of credit, but I feel comfortable saying that our pops, stoicism, heavy, right? The less you talk, the more you keep it in. That's just kind of that fortress you built. That was strength,
right?
And now it's about how transparent can you be. So this is new ground for me going in. I feel like you've navigated it so well.
Well, you gotta, man. Society tries to put, and has been doing it for generations, tries to put the definition of what a man is. And I think the stigma of what a man is, I think has blinded a lot of men, and it's definitely caused a lot of conflict between father and son relationships in many ways.
Father, son, mother, anyone in the house.
Yeah, absolutely. Right? Because ideally, a man is only strong when he doesn't show emotion, or when a man is always the leader and always knows what's best, and that's just it. Like,
that's heavy. To know what's best all the time?
Impossible.
Nah.
And that's why you have to be transparent, because think about it. Like, I'm 38 years old and I am still learning how to be the best version of myself. Yeah. And I'm probably going to be doing that to the day I die. So why not use that as a way to coach in the moment and be a parent at the same time? Because I want Josh to know that no matter where he's at in his life, he can always become and get better as a person.
Yes.
And so the only way I can show that is showing him my flaws and going over like, honestly, like, just messed up with your mom. I probably should have paid a little bit more attention to what she was saying, her needs, or maybe I should have had a better response. That's my bad. And you need to know that's my bad, because you're going to be in that same situation eventually.
Right.
And so,
right.
So that you have to be transparent. And here's the thing, like, young parents, because we're all young parents in a sense. We have this idea that we want to be our child's best friend and then at the parent at the same time. It's really hard to like seesaw balance that. It really is.
Is it? I mean, you make it look. I mean, granted, again, we don't have a huge foundation in our friendship. I love you already, right? But it seems like you manage it decently well, and you've been doing it for a while now.
This is it. Every day is a new day. Like I said, if you can embrace when you're the worst parent, it'll make you appreciate how good of a parent you really are, because you're going to make mistakes. Like, that's the thing. We tell our children every day, it's okay to make mistakes as long as you learn from them.
Right.
But then we don't hold ourselves to the same mentality. Like, your children need to know that not only is it okay to make mistakes, be honest about the mistakes, take accountability.
Yeah.
But at the same time, embrace that humility and make sure that you're going to, start your day the next day better off, and actually, take what you've learned and where your mistakes are and actually apply them. And you have to do that with your children.
Yeah.
But you can, and the thing is you can, when I say balance, is that you can still be disciplinary.
Yeah.
Right? And you can still be a parent, but it's always about how you show your child.
Right.
And how the conversations are. like, you have parents that yell, you have parents that scream, you have parents that just give you looks, you have parents. Josh will tell you, like, when he does something wrong or we have a conversation, I try to get into his soul. I try to get into his heart. Like, oh man, it's just like I try to talk to him in a way where it is this. It's not just this moment.
Yeah.
It's this moment can actually transcend to how you're going to
live life. Okay. I see it.
And doing it in a way
you went Disney on them.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm straight going like you like hip hop, so I'm straight trying to go like Kendrick Lamar and Nas.
Yes.
I'm trying to do the double entendres. I'm trying to be straight lyrical.
Yes, tell them.
At the same time, still have a catchy beat. When I say catchy beat, I'm still trying to make it fun. I'm still trying to make it relative with analogies, with things in his own life that he can see, where he can laugh at himself. Because I think we all know, like, the best part about life is when you don't take yourself serious and you can laugh at yourself. So being able to do it that way, still being hard and firm, but still making it to where it's fun and we're still laughing at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I think that's when you can balance out being like a parent and a cool best friend.
Yeah.
I think that if you're and that's another thing too, is we grew up in a world where our parents try to hide a lot of stuff from us and weren't honest.
100%. So I don't know how to in Asian households.
I bet,
bro. Like, Aquafina has this movie right now. Have you heard of this? Have you seen it?
No, I heard about it.
I heard about it too, so I need to watch it. But if anyone that doesn't know, it's about how her grandmother or grandfather, someone in that family is dying, and no one tells them. No one. They're just like, we're gonna have a family reunion, and no one's gonna tell them. So, great example I'll share. My mom is a breast cancer survivor, right? She didn't tell me until after she was already cleared. After.
Ooh.
Right? And I was 22. I just got back from some army training, young stud, like I'm just ready to go, like ready. And my mom hits me with this. My mom's gonna die? Wait, you didn't die? You didn't tell me? Like, what if you didn't get cleared, right? And so now Taya trying to figure out, because I'm raised, I still feel this. If you got problems, you keep that in-house. But we can't be that way with our children, I'm learning.
No. Like,
there needs to be a certain level of, they don't need to know everything, but they need to know sometimes mom and dad are going to fight.
Yeah, I think when it becomes like mom and dad, because,
I don't know. Like, how do you guys handle that? Like, does Josh know when you're upset at Daisy? I mean, do you guys fight in front of him?
Now he's very like, I think every parent goes in like, if we're not agreeing, we're gonna agree to disagree and not do it in front of the kids.
Right.
Like, everybody has that saying. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But is that old school? Or is that just
I think it's old school.
Or is it proper? Like,
I think it's proper.
Okay.
I think the old school component is basically telling your kids no and not explaining why.
Oh, I hate that.
That to me is like,
because I said so.
That's the dumbest thing ever.
I hate that.
I said so.
I hate it. Yeah.
Like, you should never do drugs and you should never drink and don't have sex. And as a kid, you're like, but my
you
mom
did.
and dad had me at this age.
Right.
And then like, dad telling me not to drink, but you're over there drinking. Like, you put these double
standards.
Yeah. And this is where trust is not truly built, because then your kids are gonna have doubt about you. Like, my parents are not really being honest. So what are they keeping me from? And what ends up happening is like, you're like, my parents must be keeping me something that might actually be fun.
Or they're gonna keep stuff from the parents.
Right.
In return, right?
And then there's no honesty.
Yes.
And then everybody keeps everything secret. And then that's when things happen, because we already know that that's when bad things happen, when people are not being honest. I mean, they were saying is like the God shines light on everything. Like, it's so funny because like the truth always comes to the surface. You know what
always.
I mean? And so like parents know too. Like, when you're doing something
I was gonna ask, do you know when Josh is misbehaving or like?
Hell yeah, because it's just a feeling. Because it's like you know them, like when they're worried or they're stressed out, you're like, come here, man, come here. What's up? Like, nothing. No. Nothing yesterday, but something today. What's up?
Yeah.
So it's like it's those things, and I think that like when it goes back to like, we all don't want to argue in front of our kids. It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
But sometimes maybe when you argue with your spouse and maybe it doesn't end well, I think it's also a learning opportunity, because you know, I think as a man, and I always tell this to Josh, like the true meaning of being a man is always doing the right thing, even when no one's looking, and
Integrity.
even when it's the hardest thing.
Yeah.
And knowing when to just tap out and say, "That's me. That's on me."
That's hard.
Hell yeah, it's hard.
Hard.
Especially when it comes with a wife.
Oh,
you know how hard it is.
I'm still learning, right? I think we're getting into this conversation kind of organically, which I love. My question was going to be, you have a kid. How do you balance being a dad versus being a husband? Right? Like, Tay and I have had conversations about, hey, Elijah's here now. You and I need to be number one still, right? So that we can be mentally, emotionally right to take care of the kid. And in theory, that sounds good. I'll be honest. I mean, it sounds good to me right now, but you got time in, right?
Yeah.
Like, is it
time in?
How do you guys approach it? Because I could tell right away how much you love Daisy. I'm a romantic. Hearing how you guys kind of figured it out in the beginning, I love that story. So how have you done it year after year after year while raising, from what I can tell, a great young man?
I think for every man, I think the hardest part is not getting complacent. Like,
What do you mean?
So think about this from day one. Like the moment we turn 14, 15, we start really noticing girls. Like we want to hurry up and get a job. We want to get a job because we want to look better. And the only way we can look better is if we get a job, make money.
First
so we
you get
can
the
buy
money,
clothes.
then you get the power.
That's right.
Yep.
You already know.
Yep.
So pretty much since our adolescent years, we've been doing everything we can to find the proper and the right dime piece in our lives.
Yes.
So, and think about it. Everything we do has been, in many ways, you said you're MCing, whatever.
Yeah.
There's not one guy I've ever met that hasn't done something just to try to get a girl's attention.
But that's ingrained, right?
It's ingrained.
That's
it's ingrained.
Darwinism. That's
Darwinism,
like,
absolutely.
we gotta make sure we reproduce as men.
We gotta reproduce. So you spend your whole time chasing.
Yeah.
That you finally find the right one, or you find that dime piece, you find that special girl, the girl of your dreams, and then you forget about the importance of the chase. Because think about the woman. Listen, we know this. Like the woman knows like 2 seconds if she would even give you the time of day.
Oh yeah.
Like most of us off the bat. Most of us, we open our mouth and it's a
right.
Next one.
Yes.
So for when we're chasing that woman and we are going to above and beyond, to prove to her that we are worthy of their loving.
Yes.
And then we get them. You can't forget that chase.
You
have, when people say like, people say like, make sure the romance is always alive. Keep the romance alive. I think it's deeper. I think that I think it's deeper than that, because it's not just keeping the romance alive. You can be romantic in so many different ways, from the smallest to the biggest.
Right.
But it's the chase. It's the taking time and paying attention to the details that you did when you were first after her.
Yes.
And still applying it now, even after 10, 15, 20 years.
How long you guys been together now?
Golly. So we've been married 5 years.
Dating included.
So we've been married 5 years, and we have been dating, I would say over 10 years now.
So you got twice as much time, because I've been friends with Taylor for almost a decade now, but we were friends for the longest time. Much like you, I was with someone else at the time. We were friends, became best friends. Things fell apart. Tay was there for me through all of it. And so we had this great foundation of being friends first. But that's why it's different for us, I feel like, and why I appreciate you saying that. Because we didn't really have to chase initially, right? I had to learn how to love her as my spouse.
Yeah.
Right? Not just love her as my best friend, who I know we're gonna get through the world together, but have something romantically. And then there's no doubt, anybody who knows me and Taylor know, like, I'm crazy for her, and vice versa, hopefully, right? Like, but it's a learning process right now. And now that we have this, this amazing boy, time is limited, right?
Absolutely.
Stress is there.
Absolutely. And I think now more so, like, life brings you so much more distractions, whether it's sports or watching a football game or watching a basketball game or talking about sports right now. Or texting, texting and Instagramming with your friends, whatever it may be. Like you also have to remember, like be as much as you want your best friends to be aware or to be thoughtful of you.
Yes.
as a person, you have to apply that same mentality to your spouse.
Yeah.
And it's I mean, there's times where Daisy has to check me, like, hey, like, we haven't spent no time together. You've been busy all day.
Like, she feels the same thing too.
You know, like
I get busy working.
Yeah.
And in my mind, we talk about the idea of being a man. I had to get checked so hard 2 years ago, maybe even this past year, of when we found we were pregnant. I went overtime on work, right? I was like, I gotta provide. I gotta make sure. I mean, we're comfortable, right? I gotta make sure that this stays comfortable. Make sure that when he comes, like, he's provided for. Like, she doesn't have to worry about anything. And eventually, she's like, no, this matters. We're gonna figure the rest of this out. And that's why I love Taylor, because I asked her early on. I was like, is love enough? Yes or no? I don't care what the answer is, but we have to have the same answer.
Yeah.
Right? And we did. And so that's crazy.
That sounds like you guys are already doing it, though.
We're trying. I mean, every day is a new thing, and sometimes days will pass by before we realize, we need to talk. We need to catch up. I think that's why the podcast has been helpful, because it forces us to sit down.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, I appreciate it. And I always learn something new about her, and I always appreciate her more for it. But I will say, having a kid or just something else new in life puts a stressor on that relationship. And I think I've learned, and I want you to correct me if I'm wrong here, okay, because I'm going to learn, is we have to grow at the same time. And we need to grow, if not in parallel each other, at least aware of each other.
Absolutely.
Right? Because my worry is, if we don't stay connected, we're going to grow for the better in different ways. And I don't want to lose the family. This family is so important to us. And you've done such a nice job of it over the last few years. How much do you think your family dynamic is going to change when Josh leaves and you're empty nesting right now?
I think it's going to be...
Is Daisy going to get tired of you?
I hope not. Please don't.
Did she shave you? Like, did you shave your head?
No. I did that on me. She doesn't like it, but it's okay. She's learning to love me. That's love.
That's love. Yeah. Fact.
But I think we've even noticed with a lot of time that Josh has traveled. It's allowed us to spend a lot more time together. Even the simple things like making each other.
You guys take advantage of it?
Yeah, absolutely. Take it. Like, just even having a cup of coffee together and just talking. Like, Daisy loves to talk. Daisy is the most talkative person in the morning. And
is she really?
Oh yeah, I'm not. So she'll tell me I'm not a morning person. But it's not that I'm not a morning person. It's just I don't get live and get going till 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon. That's just me. Like, Daisy, like, she'll wake up and then be like seconds, and she's already talking about the day, tomorrow. Like,
Taylor's the same way.
Like, and it's just like, and then you're just like, what?
Yes.
It's like, and so I think what you're saying, and it reminds me of like one of my favorite songs, by Common, Light.
Yeah.
He says, we won't wear matching shirts, but I will match your work.
Yes.
I think that's the key. I think that
yeah, I need to get that
the whole
somewhere.
parallel, absolutely, the whole parallel thing. I think that you don't want your partner, to be like you, but you don't,
absolutely not.
You also don't want them to be so far from your morals and your ethics that you're just so far apart.
Yeah.
And so like that's I told this to Josh too. Like, you want to find somebody that you're not gonna wear matching outfits, but you are literally going to be a reflection of each other inside.
Yeah.
And understanding that. And it is important that, and here's the thing is, men, we absolutely sometimes are not, I guess, knowledgeable, and I say this as a man myself, or responsive to our spouse's feelings and emotions. Sometimes we'll look at their emotions and feelings as if, come on, like, really? Like, let's
see, we get into all types of stuff tonight because we're fixers.
Right.
So when I come home and Taylor's telling me about her day, I'm waiting to hear the problem so I can, and I don't know, maybe you tell me, I don't know if it's because I want to shortchange the conversation a little bit and like let's move on to something else, or because I want to be a savior.
I think it's both.
You think so?
I think it's both because think about it. It's a classic line. I always say this, like, woman to come home from her job, like, for me, once I'm done with work, I'm done. I'm not talking about nothing.
No.
You come home from work, and that was the first thing when we first, because we, just so you know, I know we we didn't move into with each other until we got married.
Really?
Yes. So we never moved. So that was the hardest part. Number one, we moved.
But you're committed now, though.
Oh, absolutely. But I remember that first week it was tough because I not only have Daisy, I have Josh, and I was used to coming home being quiet. Like I sit there for like a good 30 minutes, watch ESPN, get over my day at work, and then I'm good. But now I have to come home and talk about my job.
Oh no! Or listen to a job you don't know nothing about.
Nothing about. Well, you already know there's like 2 people her job or their job that.
Damn it, Karen!
Right, and he's like, and if Bob or Karen or Billy made their day messed up, you got to hear about it, and
you can't say anything,
and you can't say nothing.
No,
because like the classic line is the woman's like, I can't stand Karen. I hate this job, and the first thing a man was like, well, just quit and find a new job. If I wanted your opinion, I would have asked. I just want you to listen. I just want you to listen. And it's just like, I think that's the thing. I think, A, we want to be fixers. And also, B, we as men will sit here and try to basically dictate what's important or what emotions are important.
Yes.
And that's not fair.
No, it's not.
It's not fair. And then you have to check yourself. And man, Daisy's really good about checking me on that because I think in the beginning I was like that. I was like, we need to move on. What? Like, I don't like when someone tells me I need to move on. Like, if I want to be fixated on something, I want to be fixated. Let me feel what I'm feeling.
Yeah.
How am I doing it to my wife?
Yes.
That's not cool.
See, I've had to get to a point now recognizing that where when Taylor starts, I won't say venting, but like she starts speaking about or recapping her day, I have to physically ask, hey, do you want me to listen right now? Or do you want me to help navigate the situation? And you just let me know. So I know how to approach it appropriately.
That's a great way to go.
I'm trying. But I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I don't even care what she says. I'm still gonna try to fix it.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's so bad. But I recognize and I appreciate the fact that she even wants to tell me about her day. Because I think I get more word when she doesn't say anything.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I think it's just the patience. We talk about the ego again. I think I think the best thing that man can have is a good ego.
Yeah.
And definitely can.
I think we need a little bit of.
Absolutely, you got bravado. You got to have that, but at the same time, I think that you can definitely get in our own way.
Yes.
Because no man wants to be told he's wrong. No man. I don't care what man like especially from your wife, because you still feel like you got to be the leader of the family. So the moment you're told you're wrong, like you have to like I know this self-conscious sometimes. I'm over here trying to fight the good fight. I'm like, no, I'm not. No, and in the back of my head, I'm like, but am I wrong? And if I'm wrong, if I show her or tell her I'm wrong, does it show weakness?
Yes.
You got to get past the battle. I call it the battle because why are you going to war with the person that you love the most? Like
that should be on your team.
Should be on your team because if listen, we know this. Our wives are the most honest creatures to us.
I know it's hurtful. It's disrespectful sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah, absolutely. But we need it because I always say this. We need to take the man and the woman out the situation. With my best friends, John or my mentor Jesse, like when we're wrong, we're hard on each other. We nail each other like, bro, like what? And we give it to each other. Like
I think you need to have that as men.
As men.
Right? Because we don't too many yes men.
That's right.
Too many.
Have too many yes men. Because most yes men are really not your friends anyway.
That's right.
And here's the funny thing about it. They're treating you. They're like, oh, just get over it. They're treating you the exact same way you treat your woman.
Oh,
Think about that first, because it boils down to you just want it to be done with because you don't want to hear about it. You don't want to care about it. And there's times that you don't want to, and of course there's times you want to fix it, but you're always playing, that thin line.
Yeah.
And so like that's why there's times I have to literally tell myself, Chris, is what you're doing more important than making sure that you and your wife or you and Daisy are good. So stop what you're doing. She's telling you you're not listening to me.
Yeah.
I may not want to listen to your problems, but I have to think about how many times that I've brought useless or stupid conversations to her and she listened to it. Because think about it. Us guys, we talk about some dumb things. Like we bring up some dumb things.
All day.
Like think about how many times our women are like, have had rough days and we're like, hey, what's up? What's up? You
look good right now.
Look good. What's up? And she's like, really? Really? So like we have to be able to acknowledge that like as guys, we can be really stupid and being able to accept that and being able to actually do a better job is being meant to our.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So let me ask you this then right now. Are you good on time?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Okay. Because I'm really enjoying this conversation. So I could tell. I mean, so with the utmost respect to you and Daisy, but I could tell you got game.
Ooh.
Okay. But I mean this respectfully, right? So I could tell you are confident that you know how to navigate a conversation, right? You know how to be genuinely interested, right? And I'm sure that women appreciate that, and that's probably served you well before Daisy, right?
It had its benefits,
right? And I'm sure it served Daisy well as well, right? Mm-hmm. Josh is a good-looking kid, and he's gonna navigate some of that stuff too as a young man. And you know, I'm kind of saying I have no problem talking to women, right?
Like, good looking guy, man.
I try to be like you.
Oh man.
You know, but and my kid is cute.
Oh, he's
cute. He's gonna be a killer one day.
Eyes? Oh man.
Oh man. His little he does his smile with only one side.
He's rap.
That smile right there. He has that one right there.
It's a rap.
Are you his daddy?
No.
All right. No. So, but the question I have is, we have to navigate those conversations and relationships, right? And I'm assuming, been through some thicker conversations with Josh about relationships, women, you know, respecting women, because you respect Daisy more. You love her, so I could just tell this already, right? And that's a good foundation for Josh. But he's a good-looking kid, right? He needs to figure out what's his own. So how do you parent that?
It's funny because when Josh started talking to girls, for the most part, especially a lot of the girls that come Josh's way, everybody would be like, "Hey, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Your son,
that's crazy, right?
He's killing it." And I would be like, "I don't want to talk to girls."
Really?
Yo,
because he's focused on dance and stuff, or because you just want to be protected? Like, what is it?
It's both. I think it's a protection. I realize like that how much is it when you're young.
Yeah,
it's very easy to get in long, drawn out relationships that pull you from you being able to grow as a person.
So I'm a relationship guy.
Yeah.
Are you?
I'm a relationship guy. I also had to realize that there's also unhealthy components about being in relationships at a very, very young age.
There's like a dependency thing about it.
There's a codependency, absolutely, and especially when you involve, you know, sex, you get easily attached. You know, like
people don't understand. Like they take it for granted.
Oh, absolutely.
I've never been one to easily, and you know, I'm not gonna put everything out there for everybody, but between Taylor and my ex, there was a season where I had to be single. I had to figure out what that space was, had to figure out how to be comfortable being at home alone. I know you say you enjoyed it a lot. I wasn't comfortable being in the house alone. I would find myself texting people or texting Taylor, like, "Hey, what are you doing?" Like, just even to catch up or text my boys, being dependent on just chill out for a little bit, right? And it wasn't until I was comfortable with that I could tell Taylor, "Hey, I think I'm ready for the love that you're trying to give me right now," right? So how are you protecting Josh? I don't say protecting Josh.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. It's going back to the process, or going back to trusting the process.
Okay.
You know, I think for me, when I see Josh, I see how talented he is, and I see how much he wants to be a professional dancer. So for me, I don't want him to lose focus on that. And I also tell him this all the time. Right now, he is and
it's hot commodity.
I'm trying to say it so I don't get too deep into it, because he might be watching it, so but I tell him all the time, the long as you can stay being a virgin, you will have all the power.
Yeah.
Because the moment you give up and you become intimate with a woman, it is the greatest feeling, not only physically, it is the greatest feeling emotionally and mentally. It is probably the first addiction that you'll ever have in your life. The moment you first have sex, it is. And now, because of that sensation, you feel like you got to have it all the time. So then, on the other side, if you have a person you're talking to that doesn't have you in their best interest, or they maybe not even know that they're immature and that they're not a right person for you. now you're becoming dependent of that feeling and sensation, and you are getting it confused with love. You're taking lust and you're confusing it with love. And the next thing you know, you're in a relationship for 5 years that's just a horrible, just unhealthy relationship because of those attachments that sex has brought on.
Yeah.
And this is tough for me to say because listen, this is grown talk, right?
Yeah.
This is grown talk.
Speak on it.
Listen, I love sex. We all love sex.
Who doesn't?
But sex is great. It's the most amazing thing ever.
Yes.
It's probably the best workout. Burn calories.
That's right.
Shoot.
Yeah.
If they tell you out there going to the gym, just put the gym in the bedroom. That's what you got to do. The point being is that we know that we have been in relationships and everything was just based off of sex, but everything else was bad.
So bad.
And a lot of times you spend some of your good young years where you can just learn about yourself and who you want to be. Mm-hmm. And most importantly, focus on your goals, that you get lost in these bad relationships. And the next thing you know, you're 24, 25. You're like, man, I've been in a relationship for 5 years and I have no earthly idea of who I am and who I want to be. And I don't know how to be alone. Like, and I'm saying this because I was that same person.
Same, yeah.
So I had to be single for a whole 2 years.
So I think maybe Daisy sets you up. She put you in rehab for a year, chasing it down.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's so with Josh is like, I think for him, he's very, very mature. And
he seems that way.
Here's the thing. He's gonna make mistakes. He is, and that's just it too, is that it's hard to balance out because it's hard to tell a child or tell someone that's a young adult that I'm telling you this because I know. And an adolescent will tell you, well, how do you know it's gonna be different for me?
You gotta feel the fire a little bit. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. So you have to really like, you also have to trust their process too as becoming adults.
Yeah.
And that's the scary part.
I mean, at some point you got to just realize they may end up in a spot they don't want to be in. And you can't scoop all the time.
Can't save them. I can't. That's when I really want to be.
That's hard for me right now.
Absolutely.
Because my son's so little, I can literally scoop him up if I need to. Right? If I see him falling, I catch him right now. So to imagine him at Josh's age, hoping that he's half as mature as Josh is, half as smart, half as dedicated as he is, right? To make the right decisions or to be able to get himself out of predicaments if he makes a mistake. I'm like, oh, my hand is still here. I'm gonna pull it back. I'm not gonna do it. So, but Josh is also a dancer.
Boy,
dancers are sexy.
Dude, I think Josh...
Dance equals sex.
Even when Josh was like 16 and 17, a lot of the girls, because we we're going to have, they're for forever. We controlled his Instagram page.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the DMs were...
No, you kidding me. At 16?
Ridiculous. Grown-ass women, and they thought Josh was like 18 or older. You know what I mean?
Well, because he dances like he's grown.
And I tell you, Josh is such a good kid because there's been times where you have to tell some of these older women, hey, I'm only 16. Now, I think this is why I know I have a good kid, because if I was Josh and I could dance and I was his age, I'd ride that.
Slaying it.
I would ride that until I was forced to say my age.
Yes.
But that's what I tell you. He's just such a good kid, and that's why I'm always impressed with him. He's like, that's why I always say, you don't have to worry about being better than me, because you're already better than me, because you already see the right pitch. And I think a lot of it too, to give credit to his mom, because she being a teenager and getting pregnant, her story is really special, and where she came from, and how, even as a single mother there for a while, I think the relationship that Josh has with his mom, I think this is an amazing amount of respect from Josh in understanding how hard it is to be a young parent.
Yeah.
And why, if you can avoid it, avoid it. Or, and I say this, and I'm not those parents. I've always said this. And this happens in the Latino community, happens in the Asian community,
sure,
especially in a lot of minority communities. There's no healthy talks about conversation. We go back to transparency.
Yeah.
Like, listen, I want you to wait till you're married to have sex, but I know it's impossible. You know how I know it? Because
it's impossible.
So it is super impossible. I'm gonna tell you, I've always been honest with Josh. I've told him everything about the most amazing, all the best things about sex.
Yeah.
And I've also told him about, like, with all the great things also come things that can be bad. Yeah. And so I've always told him, like, if you feel that this is the person you want to be with, and you feel like there's no other way to show your feelings and emotion to this person, yo, hit me up, let me know so we can get you protected.
Right.
Whatever we need to do to keep you protected. Yeah. And he'll tell you, I remember when he was like 10, 11, 12, I would have my friends come around like, Josh, what's the biggest lie a woman can tell you? And he'll tell you, she's on birth control. Boom. That's right. Never believe that. Never believe that.
Yeah.
So like, you know, that it's just having those conversations and transparently. Listen, eventually they're going to fall into that well and they're going to love that water and they're going to want to drink a sip from that well every day. Especially when you're young.
It's crazy because there's so many facets about sex, right? There's that physical, amazing, blissful, just right. And I think you touched on it before is, you know, you think you love them, and you may love them. You may genuinely love them at that age, based on your understanding of love. But I think the reason why I messes so many people up, and the reason why it probably messed me up when I was younger, was I confused trust with love. Because there's an intimacy there, right? Yeah. So I trust you with my body right now. You're trusting me with your body. Is that love? I don't know, but this is where we're at now.
It feels like love.
It feels like love.
I don't know what love is.
I want to love some more.
I want to love some more.
I want to love some more.
I ask you this. Do you think that sex also, in many ways, can truly complicate what could actually potentially be a great relationship? Because you don't get a chance to really, really get to know that person.
I think it can, right? And I think some women are very clever about this, right? Like if they don't think there's a relationship happening, they might let you smash.
Yeah.
Right. True. But if they really,
today is it for sure.
yeah. But if they think that it's going to go further, they might hold it out a little bit. I think men can learn from that to have that relationship, if that's what you want long term. Now, if that's just part of who you are, if physical touch is one of your love languages and you know that, and you guys are on the same page, then that needs to be an understanding. Hey, you know, like it's holding hands is nice, hugging is nice, physical sex is nice, right? Like, okay, then you could separate that. But that comes with a certain level of maturity. Right? You have to understand some things. And I think that you probably had to have sex a couple of times already with potentially different people to figure out where you stand with it. Right?
Yeah, I think, you know, I can't, there's only a handful of things I can truly remember like that my mom said growing up that was like, triggered.
Yeah.
But one thing my mom always said, like, you know, if you have sex with everyone that you meet, just remember that the day that you do find the right person, that you've given your part of who you are to so many different people.
Yeah.
That what are you going to really be able to offer that person?
Right.
And I know this might sound, you know, somewhat lame. And I'm like, some people might roll their eyes because it just seems like it's such a, I don't know, it's like a corny thing in today's day because everything's so over-sexualized.
It's so casual.
Exactly. So, but you have to realize, like ultimately, regardless if you think you're what the kids use player now, baller, whatever, you just, you know, you're
old man. I mean,
you know, whether you think you're one of those guys out there that you just feel like you got to holler at a lot of girls, or if you're a girl that really feels like the only way you can be accepted is by men wanting your body, you have to remember at the end of the day, what do you ultimately want?
Yes.
Ultimately, you want somebody to respect you.
Yes.
You want somebody to love you for who you are.
Yeah.
And you want somebody that's really, really, that if you call them at 3:00 in the morning, you had a flat tire, and they come and get you.
Facts.
That's real.
Facts.
We all want those real companions.
That's the real 3:00 call in the morning, right?
That's a real booty call.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So like you know, if you know that's what you want, ask yourself: is giving your body to everyone you meet, is that really going to help you reach true companionship? Because it's probably not. It's probably going to cause more scars. It's probably going to cause more trauma. It's probably going to cause a lot more insecurities than you ever thought you would.
And you have to unlearn that then if you ever want to get to a point of a quote unquote healthy relationship, right? So growing up, I didn't have any of those conversations with my dad. Right? Stoicism again, right? We just don't talk about that stuff.
Yeah.
And so when I started having intimate relationships with women, it was I was just one of the boys.
Yeah.
I was just getting it in, right? And it wasn't until I started chasing this girl in high school that I was like, I thought I was in love with. I was going to marry this girl, right?
Of course.
Church going girl, right? I used to run to her house 3 miles to her aunt's house every day. and I would Bible study with her dad, just before I could even talk to her. So, right? It's like God's crazy. He's using me, like women and his families in mysterious ways right now, right? And so I eventually, found Christianity through these interactions. But he asked me one day, he's like, "Why are you talking to my daughter?" And I was like, what did I tell him about this? He goes, "What's the point of dating?" And I was like, "Ooh, okay, let me think about this real quick." And it hit me out of nowhere. It's like, it's because I want to find somebody worth spending the rest of my life with.
Yeah.
Right? And when he got me to that answer, I realized sex wasn't the thing, right? The real crazy intimacy is that true love connection, right? And so I started trying to understand and respect it more. But man, as a young man, especially if, like, I'm using Josh as an example right now, but he's a good-looking kid, he dances, he doesn't have to chase.
No, he doesn't.
Right? It's falling in his lap. Grown women falling in his lap. Yeah. And we admit ourselves, if we were that age, not knowing the things we know now.
Absolutely. And I think that the best thing about being a dad, and you'll find this out.
Yeah.
Once you start putting, like, you don't want we talked about this, you don't want your children to be just like you, but you also want to give them the proper guidance.
Yes.
Or give them the right, the right components of integrity and morals.
Yeah.
But when you start seeing them and you start watching them apply them without them even knowing,
I can't wait.
Doing it.
I can't wait.
You just sit back and you don't like when you see your I don't know if you've seen it yet, but when they start walking and they fall, you know how you're like, you're not supposed to say anything because you don't want to like make them start crying. You're like, oh, it's okay, you're like,
we're there right now.
Yeah. So you're like, you see them fall, you're like, oh, you want to run to them, you're like, but you want to fall. I'm like, oh, it's okay, he's all right. So when you see your son do exactly what you envision him to do, you don't say anything. You
get proud.
Stay proud and smile, and then when you ever have that moment, you say, "Hey, I'm just proud of you, son." You don't even tell him why. But you just know you're proud, because
the fact that you even tell him that you're proud of him, light years ahead of a lot of people already.
He's done a really, really good job. He's 18, and he's currently in a relationship, and he has a good girlfriend. Her name is Charlie. She's amazing.
Yeah.
And I got to spend some time with her. She came over for Thanksgiving. And I was super impressed. And I got to tell you, I was like, I told him, I said, I don't care how pretty and how cool she is. No one's ever going to be good enough for you. I told him, I said, and I'm going to tell you right now, don't maybe try to be Charlie's friend because I'm not going to be Charlie's friend.
That's so crazy to say that as a dad.
Yeah.
Right? You hear this from like if you had a daughter, right? No one's good for my daughter. Say that to a young man?
Why not?
I've never heard it before.
But we should say that.
You're 100% right.
Like as much protection as you are with your daughter, and how you want her to find the best man that's going to respect her. Yeah. You should apply the same thing for yourself.
Because he's a young king, the way we have little queens, right?
Yeah, okay. Right. King, like we want our queens to have the best king.
Hey,
in order to have the best king, you gotta show your young king what it means to find the right queen.
Yeah, that's
vice
right.
versa. It has to stay. Everything has to be the same. Like it can't. We got to take the sexist out of it, and the same protection we put over our daughters, the same protection we got to have over our sons. And I've been so impressed because it's sure, not even 2 hours she was at the house. I was like, man, I really like Charlie. I was like telling my wife, I was like, I really, really like Charlie. Yeah. And he was like, what's that? But don't tell her though. Don't even tell Josh I like it, because right now I gotta be the bad guy. Right. I gotta be like, you're not good enough. It was so hard because the values and the things that I wanted him to find in somebody that he wants to be in a relationship with. He's still young, but he did that.
He's figuring it out. Yeah.
He did that. I was very impressed because I knew from the moment she came over and she just didn't want, I've seen it where girls or guys just want to be with that person and they don't want to even interact with the family, right? It's the worst. It's so disrespectful, right?
Disrespectful. Like, I don't know. Actually, I do know how it is, but when you walk into a house, you need to say hi to everybody. And you need to start with whoever's the oldest, right? Like, if grandparents' house, you say hi and you work away down to parents, and then and you don't just sit down for dinner. You offer to do the dishes. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So I understand.
She was interacting. Is just like she wouldn't. The way I liked it is that she literally wanted to do stuff with Josh, but as a family. Yeah. And it wasn't fake. It was truly genuine. I was like, man. I remember when she left, and I told Josh, that man, you did good. Very proud of you. You did good.
Yeah.
But don't tell her I like her though. But she knows I like her. She knows I think the world of her because Daisy likes to run that story all the time. She likes to say, I remember when you came, Charlie, like Chris is like, I'm not gonna like her. I'm not gonna like anybody. And I'm over here like Charlie's so awesome. Yeah.
You know what's crazy is my buddy Paul told me this. He said we accept the love we think we deserve, right? And so if he's bringing home a quality woman, it's because you and Daisy have taught him that he deserves
the best.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right. And so I think that's dope.
So
amazing.
Quick, guys, you're listening, fathers, please. Like, I know as when you become a father, like you think about the one day when you have to have a conversation about sex and relationships. Like, there's never a good time, but it's always a good time.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So listen, you have to find your niche with your child. If you've been building that relationship with your child from day one and you've made transparency the most important thing and trust in a relationship, it's going to be uncomfortable conversation, but you just got to find a way to just grind. It's like the first conversation you ever had with a woman. It was tough. We all know. It was horrible.
Still.
Especially when you try to holler at the prettiest girl, the first prettiest girl you try to holler at. Look, it was horrible.
I bet you're the same. I'm so glad I'm with Taylor now because I would not want to date anymore.
Hell no.
Too much work.
Too much work.
Not that Daisy and Taylor aren't work, but I'd rather put time into them.
There's simplistic in the fact that they appreciate the small things, so it's great. Because now it's like everything is so eccentric, everything is so fabulous, and everything is so it's so extreme. And then you like, I mean, the fact that sometimes you don't even have to put in any work, that scares me.
I have a young cousin who's going through right now, and he's a young player in this sense, and he's enjoying it so much. And when we talk, I can't even talk to him about it because I don't understand it. Right. And then two, I know in my heart of hearts, one day he's going to find somebody he truly loves, and he's going to have to find a way to turn it off and unlearn some things. Because when you meet a real woman, you can't spit game the same way you can't question mark her at 2 a.m, right?
Hell no.
She's gonna get mad, or she's not gonna respond because she knows what she's worth, and you can't bring that to a real woman.
Not to a real woman. She knows her queen status, and she knows what she deserves. He's not gonna get far at all. He's gonna have to reprogram himself. And that's gonna be tough because
that's probably harder than getting. I mean,
I think so. I think so because especially when all you know is just like the physicality of relationship, and you have no understanding of the emotional. Man, there's a lot of zombies right now walking around, man.
Well, I talked about the love languages earlier. A lot of young men think when their love language is physical touch. A lot of it is, but a lot of it's not. I think you just really enjoy it. I don't think you really need it. Like, so Tate now, sometimes she'll like rub my arm. I'm like, I'm okay. You don't need to do that. Like, I'm here. Like, I'm here right now. We're good. You don't have to do that for me. So it's just interesting. So I think he's gonna have to learn some things, relearn some things, unlearn some things, and I'll be here with him for it the whole time. But
so you can start off with him, and then that way you're better prepared. When you gotta talk to little guy one day about like the whole relationship and sex.
Do you think? So let me ask you, I don't know if it's too much. When did you have a conversation? Like, how old was Josh when you started talking to him about some of? I mean, it's just sex, just relationships and the opposite sex, and
I think I started talking to him about like around 12, 13, 14 years old because I mean we know that everything's so overly sexualized.
Yeah, right.
I mean, you can't even watch like a Snickers commercial with like
crazy
without like sex being involved.
Crazy.
I mean, I'm like, I'm hungry and do I want sex? I don't know. Like, you're watching like, right?
Burn calories.
Can I have both?
Yeah.
And so now like, they see that. And of course, like, I mean, I would notice like right off the bat, like him noticing girls, you know what I mean? And he has and so it was just like, all right. Like,
so did you get ahead of it or did you wait till he was already, okay.
No, absolutely got ahead of it because why wait? Because he's already questioning and he's already having questions about his body, about girls, about things like, like, I mean, as soon as your testicles drop, right? Like it's a different story.
Your balls will drop.
Your balls drop.
You get a little hairy in there.
It's you start noticing you got that one pubic hair. You're like, oh,
you're a man.
You a man.
Yeah.
You gotta do man things. You don't even know what you gotta do, but you know that you gotta do man things.
But it's crazy because all the boys are going through something similar.
Absolutely.
And everybody knows something, right? Like I remember hearing crazy stories now. I'm like, that's stupid. Like growing up, the OGs, the guys a year older than me, were like, hey, you read sex? And I was like, no, tell me about it. And they tell you crazy. Here's my favorite one. If she's on top, she can't get pregnant.
Oh yeah, that's classic.
Gravity.
It's gonna come right down.
Yeah, I was like, oh, word.
Ooh.
Right? And
Makes sense.
Yeah. So the fact that you got ahead of that, respect. I didn't.
You have to, because like those are worse. Because think about it, most of the things like you said, most of the conversations or what we learned about sex was from our friends, and they were ignorant as hell.
Oh yeah,
I had no idea. Like when you think about that, that's the stupidest advice I ever received. I am very lucky that I did not, have a child of my own through those years. But like the thing is that you got to get ahead of it, because it's one of those things like you wouldn't want somebody to come into your house and clean your house because they don't know.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
So they don't know how your house is.
Yeah.
So the fact that they're touching it and there could be putting things where they don't belong, you don't want that to happen. So I feel that's the same thing. I don't want society to teach my son or my daughter about sex. I'm going to do that, even if it is the most challenging, most uncomfortable conversation that you could possibly have.
Was it?
It was, but it wasn't.
Okay.
Because I play a lot and I'm silly. I may not seem like I'm silly, but I'm super silly.
Yeah.
So like, and Josh and Daisy know, like I'm very raw and very outlandish, and I was very raw about that, man.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, pussy is, man, it is, bro.
Grade A.
My God.
Yes.
But just know they can get you in a lot of trouble. So
you open with the good stuff?
Absolutely. Because you have to. Because like,
well, I don't know how to do this. Like,
if you go about it, like if you're trying to be like, first of all, sex is not PG.
It was absolutely not.
It's not. So like, why are we gonna try to make something that's rated R into something that's rated G? This is not a Disney movie.
No, this is not a flip book.
This is not. We got to get down to the nitty gritty, because I need you to know like the do's and the don'ts and the goods and the bads. Because if I don't teach you that, somebody else is going to come teach you the wrong thing, and that's when you're going to get in trouble.
See, I think that's what's dope about hearing this conversation, and something I didn't even think about is it sounds like you're teaching him not just the physical aspects of sex, but the things that come along with it in the relationship, whether you call it official or not. What does that do to the dynamic of it?
Right.
All of it, because once again, and shout out to my parents. I love them. I'm very happy with how I'm at right now. We have a great relationship. We just didn't talk about it at all. In fact, the first time we ever talked about it is because my mom walked in, and the next morning she goes, "What was that?" And I go, "We were studying with my ass out." Like, and that was our conversation, and that was it.
Wow. Yeah, because I mean, you know that, and I can say this, is that not having that guidance got me in trouble. So we want to protect our children.
Yeah.
We want to keep them from, as long as we can keep them out of trouble, then it's our responsibility to be honest with them. And again, the sex conversation, not an easy conversation.
Yeah.
I mean, like, and I'm silly, and I always say this, like, you want to know how to keep teenagers from having sex, and we worry about them being unprotected, we worry about babies, we worry about STDs.
Right.
The schools and parents don't encourage masturbation. I've always said, you need to encourage masturbation. Quit making masturbation. Handle yourself, because sometimes no one may not be able to handle you better than yourself. So go and handle yourself.
Literally handle yourself.
Because like the safest sex is masturbation.
Yeah.
You can't get yourself pregnant.
You right?
I mean, because I would have been pregnant a long time ago. so
been trying.
So you said, you know what I mean? So like, I think like taking something that seems so, like, even today people still are embarrassed about masturbation, right? Like and
it's crazy because, and this is even crazy because we're two dudes talking, and between guys, very easy, right? So I can even forget the cameras here, and we'd probably talking about jerking off and just laughing and whatever. But in normal conversation, for some reason, taboo.
Still taboo. Like, we can have Kim Kardashian post naked pictures on Instagram with her kids right next to her, and everybody's like, it's acceptable.
Right.
But like, if I'd say right now, let's have a conversation about why we needed to teach kids in high school about the importance of masturbation, oh hell, like this is ridiculous.
Right.
It's an uncomfortable conversation.
That's interesting because we teach them how to put a condom on before we teach them how to jerk off.
Why?
Because we're teaching them. I mean, you're right, man. You knowledge bomb right now, bro.
I'm just saying, man. Like, and don't say for everyone's like, well, it's. There's going to be people right now listening to this, right? They're going to be like, well, that's because, man, sex is better than masturbation. And I ask you, that person who's saying that right now, why are you masturbating right now?
Hopefully they're not masturbating while watching this.
Hopefully they're not. But what I'm saying is like,
but I feel you, right?
The same people who sit here and say that, like I'd rather have the real thing are the same people who masturbate like 2 or 3 times a day.
Yeah.
So come on now, don't play yourself like that. Yes, we all want the real thing.
Right.
But we also have to be conscious of our own, our own flaws.
Yes.
I mean, and when you are hormonal and whatnot, like, come on,
you have to learn how to self-cope.
You have to learn how to self-cope, and you have to also learn how to protect yourself. And man, kids can't even turn the damn homework in.
Yeah.
And we're expecting them to learn how to put on the condom. Even if you taught them how to put on the condom.
That's facts, yeah.
You really think they're going to put it on correctly? Or you even think they're going to remember it? Because
or even have one on them?
Or even have one on them. Because guess what? At the end of the day...
Gravity works.
That's right.
That's right.
I mean, at the end of the day, once you get in that moment, when you're, like I always say, you're locked in, ain't no turning back. Ain't no turning back.
That's the realest thing, right? I mean, there's so many jokes like the comedians have of like, I was right there and she told me she had herpes. My next question was, are they flaring? Right? Like, that's
right
crazy.
there.
Like, you're never going to stop. And girls always, and then I think it was a cat that was like, I don't care about stretch marks.
See?
Once I'm there, I'm in.
I'm done.
Right.
It is the most overwhelming, like, feeling. It is like, literally, it's quicksand. I mean, I've never met somebody who was like, they were there at the moment. They're like, consciously, this might not be the right thing. Ma'am, I'm going to have to step away from this.
Well, so self-imposed blue balls is not a thing. However, I will say, I do know, and I have personally like walked away from people like who are drunk.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Right? So that may be the only case, maybe like a consensual thing.
But that's because you're a good person. There's a lot of guys out there that are like,
you're right.
Oh, that's easy. That's an easy win for tonight.
Oh my god.
Check off, easy win tonight. For a lot of guys, if you're a good person, yeah, that's just it. But like once you're in, especially if you're emotionally, you already
that makes it even more, right?
You're not gonna walk away from it. So like that's what I'm saying. Like we need to stop having. First of all, we need to stop being afraid as parents to have the sex conversation.
Right.
Listen,
it's important.
Every conversation you're going to have with your adolescent, when their adolescent is going to feel uncomfortable, just fight your way through it, get through it, be grind, be honest, find some laughter in it. Yeah. Don't take yourself so serious. And then most importantly, we have to be able to talk about the good things about sex, alternatives to sex, masturbation, and just be honest. Like transparency is so important as a parent.
Yeah. I like that you didn't just stop at wait till you're married.
It's the worst thing you say.
Because there's no context in it.
No context.
They don't get it.
it.
And to them, with everything going on around in society, they're probably thinking, how do I even get married if we haven't even got to that level yet?
Haven't got to that level. It goes back to what you said. Wait till you get married is like saying because I said so.
Right.
It's the exact same thing.
Yeah.
It's a lazy.
We'll call it's lazy parenting.
Poor parenting. It really is. And again, it's because a lot of and this is not for our parents and their parents. It's because generationally they were not taught that way.
But not even that, society is different.
Oh, absolutely.
Like 2 generations ago, I don't know about my parents necessarily, but arranged marriages were still a thing, right? You really could wait until marriage. I mean, statistically speaking, you were more likely to marry somebody on your block than someone across the city, right? So it's different now. I mean, when you could swipe right at age 15, 16, grown women sliding in DMs.
I didn't even have, listen, I was just telling Josh the other day, I said, man, you're so blessed and lucky. Like, you're doing your project in school right now, and you just got to hop on your phone.
That's it.
Man, when I was growing up, I lived in the hood too. I had to literally go to the library.
Dewey Decimal System.
Hell, my library didn't even have a Dewey Decimal System. There was only 4 encyclopedias there, and the other encyclopedias were stolen. Right?
Who steals an encyclopedia?
but this is back in the days when you just, because here's the thing, and I told you, I literally, just to finish my essay or my project, literally had to take whatever encyclopedia, which is always like really lame on like the letter Y.
Right. Yeah.
And
you got X.
I had to go and find the article. And I couldn't take it home. I couldn't check out the encyclopedia. I had to basically bring a pocket full of nickels, and I had to make copies.
Photo scan it, yeah.
And then you were lucky if the damn machine was even working.
Yeah, right.
And you can't tell your teacher, like they stole all the encyclopedias, and I didn't have no more nickels, and the copy machine was down. I said, so like I just think about it now. Everything is on the phone. Everything is so easy. And I'm at the point where like laptops are going to be obsolete. I mean, because everything is going to be on your phone.
It's going to be on your watch soon, or in like
whatever it's going to be.
Right.
Like I think about how just looking at a Playboy when I was growing up,
bro,
was huge. Like if somebody had a bar at school and they're like, "Yo, check this out," you're like, that was it. That was like candy. That was like getting like going to the candy store. You're like, "Oh my God!" And then you brought those pictures back home with you.
Right.
But now, I mean, they could just go on their phone and look at anything and everything.
And it's free.
You
know, again, young cousins. He's like, yo, I'm paying premiums and subscriptions. Like, why? It's free. You're dumb. Swipe right.
Swipe right, man.
That's insane.
And like I said, you don't want someone coming in that you don't know cleaning your house.
Right.
So keep your house clean.
So how do you combat that though? Because they're only in the house 30-40% of the time.
Yeah.
The rest of the time they're in school, learning from the homies, right? They're online doing their thing. Maybe another conversation we can have later on is, another day even into this stuff, how you manage some of that, right? But how do you trust that your 20-30% is value input enough of not just, hey, we're kicking it, we're enjoying, we're spending time together, but also there's some lessons in here somewhere.
Yeah.
Like, are you conscious about the lessons?
Absolutely. Because, as much as we try to avoid our children making mistakes, you got to embrace they're going to make mistakes.
Right.
Because the more mistakes that they do make gives you an opportunity to fix it now.
Every single mistake is a teaching moment.
It's a teaching moment. Because if you don't have those teaching moments now, then they're not going to be able to be productive adults in the future.
Yeah.
So, like, as much as we're like, I got to protect our kids. You know what? I told my son, don't put your finger in the electric socket. I told him 3 times, and he did it anyway. But he got electrocuted, and yes, he was crying. It hurt a lot, but I bet you he'll never ever put his finger in the socket again. So you have to be able to accept that too. I think as parents,
you embrace that too, though. Are you like, oh, my son's a doer? Like, he learns by doing. I learned something about my son. Like, is that the
Josh is a doer.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah. Like I would say Josh is a logical doer. So he does think about it. But then, he'll do something and he'll make a mistake. And, as much as I'll be angry and upset with him, I'm like, all right, do I focus on the mistake and just be so angry that he...
okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Or do I take this and say, all right...
What'd you learn?
What the hell did you learn from this?
Yeah.
You tell me what you learned. I'm the kid now. I need you to tell me why you shouldn't have done
Break it down for me.
You need to break it
down. What are you going to do next time?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
You have to do it that way because they're young adults.
Yeah.
And so every young adult always wants to be treated with respect.
Yeah.
The same respect that we demand as parents, we also need to give that same respect to our children. You know what I mean? And be able to allow them to at least explain themselves or be able to fall without being scrutinized to the point where now falling is either acceptable or every time they fall, they don't know how to handle themselves.
They hide it. They lie about it. Embarrassed about it.
Don't take accountability.
You're right.
Be sending lines to you straight up. Like, oh, that wasn't me. No, bro, that was you.
I'm worried about that, right? I mean, how do I navigate those first moments when he does his first lie?
Oh, his first lie is going to be special.
What? What was Josh's first lie? You remember?
Josh's first lie was...
I'm putting Josh out all the whole thing. I'm sorry about it.
Man, I think his major lie was like... His first lie was when we would buy him like really nice tennis shoes. We'd tell his mom would always be like, yo, like, don't go outside and play and your shoes don't mess them up because, like those are expensive shoes. So like, I remember he came home and he had these LeBron James on. He had like these messed up scuffs. They were bad. They look like somebody was just
somebody crossed him over.
Like somebody like basically picked him up and just dragged him on the concrete, and they hit like every wedge and edge he could possibly. So his shoes were just jacked up, and Daisy was like, "What's wrong? What happened to your shoes?" And like Josh was like, looked at her, and he was just like straight with a straight face, like he was like, "Oh yeah, these kids pushed me and grabbed me, and they started like kicking and hitting my shoes."
Yeah.
And back in my head, I'm like, that's a damn lie. Like, who does that? Like, no one just grabs you. And I was like, the first thing came out, I was like, did you know these kids? I didn't know who they were at all. I said, who would do that? Like, Josh has never had it. And so, like, I just, as the story progressed, I'm like, this is getting more and more ridiculous.
Did you egg it on? Is that what you're doing?
Oh.
Was it entertaining?
It was entertaining, but I was like, man, he's lying. Like, I was telling his mom, no, he's lying. He's lying so much, and he would just keep.
What did you do? How did you?
Oh, his mom.
Yeah?
His mom called him on, and she's like, if what you're saying is true, I'm going to go up to the school tomorrow. We're going to get all 3 of those kids.
Call them up. Yep.
And I'm pressing charges on them for assault.
Yeah.
And not only that, but then they're going to all go to jail. Like, she was going extreme with it. And then Josh was just like, and you could just see the tears coming out. He was like, yeah, I was playing. I lied. It was just like, but for me, it was entertaining because it was just like, okay, how do I translate this to parenting?
Yeah.
Why did he lie, number one? He lied because...
Why did he lie? Okay, I like that a lot.
Why did he lie? Because, I mean, he lied because, number one, he didn't want to get in trouble. So why didn't he want to get in trouble?
Did you talk to him about that? Like, did you help him self-assess all that?
We both did that. Like, he and I love when we parent together, too. It's fun because we can both play good cop, bad cop. Yeah. So it's always fun with that. But it was just like why did he lie? Let's break it down. Like, number one, he lied because A, he didn't want to get in trouble.
Yeah.
B, he didn't want to disappoint us. C, like, he was afraid of the reaction. Like, a lot of times kids are afraid of the reaction.
Okay.
So you got to be able to, like,
that's why adults lie.
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah.
Hell, we lie as men and husbands.
That's right.
Did you leave my wife asked me the other day, did you eat this? And I'm like, no, I didn't eat that. I said, hell, I ate it.
You got stuff in your beer right now. Like,
but and the thing is, like, why did I lie to her? Number one, it was hers. Number two, I asked her, did she want it? She said yes, but I still proceeded to eat her food. So it was like,
you're looking to be alive, right?
Right. I didn't want the reaction. And kids need to understand that if you do something wrong, like, you need that reaction.
Yeah. You
need to know that what you did was wrong. And that is what accountability is about. Like, embrace it, bro. Like, you got to, listen, you messed up.
Yes. Yeah.
Take it. Because if you don't take it, you'll never know how to take it.
That's one thing I think I'm starting to understand is, I want him to make mistakes because now's the time to make the mistakes and make them early and make them a lot, make them fast, and let's learn early. Because if the first time you mess up with your mom is like 15, 16, that's going to blow up.
Absolutely.
Bad, and you're never going to want to take accountability again.
No, and I think for a lot of times, I think parents mess up because they don't show accountability as a strength. Right? They make accountability like a task.
Right.
You know what I mean? The way you parent it. Like, accountability is not a task. It's a strength.
Okay.
It's a virtue. Like, being able to take accountability is actually proving to me that you are mature enough to be able to get in front of a car.
So real quick, I want you to explain to everybody the difference between taking accountability and just being responsible for your mistake. Anybody can be responsible for their mistake to the point of saying, yes, I did it. Right.
But accountability is actually digging deep down inside of who you are and breaking down, like, why it's important. Not only did I say it's my fault, but making sure that you apologize.
Yes.
That you ask for forgiveness.
Yeah.
That you're going to make effort to make sure that this doesn't happen again.
Yes.
With all the details. Because it's just like to say, oh, it's my fault, and then walk away and take responsibility for it. Yeah, anybody can say it's their fault. Right. But it's the actions after the fault. Yeah. What truly accountability is. How this fault made you a better person. Yeah. That's what it is.
That's 100% right. I love that you answered like that because we didn't rehearse that at all. And it's exactly what I was hoping for. I got 2 questions for you before we start wrapping things up. So you You shared a lot of knowledge today. My son is 9 months, going 10 months old. He's going to look back on this one day. He's going to love this. I love this conversation with you right now. I'm so glad we got to do this. What's one thing, one lesson that you hope he learns by the time he hears this or that he picks up on this? Could be something we've talked about already or something that you're like, this is the one thing you're going to want to learn.
I would tell your son that no matter what, your dad loves you with all his heart.
Ooh.
That not only does he love you with all his heart, that he's willing to go lengths, do things outside the box, just so that you can have a fulfilling and incredible life that you deserve. That not only does he want you to be better than him, but he also wants you just to be the greatest man that you can possibly be. And that's making sure you have the right resources and the right values to apply those things in life. So like, you got a good dad here. You got a young, good-looking dad. Listen,
I know you
got a young, good-looking dad. Yep. I know when your dad's like dancing and he's doing his thing and he's trying to talk to you about hip hop and music and shoes. You'd be like, Dad, like, you're not cool. No.
Lies.
As much as you want your dad to embrace your coolness, man, embrace your dad's coolness, man. Like it's hard being dads. We just said 17, right? 17 holidays.
Yeah.
You're gonna you already know.
What did they say? Like President's Day beats us.
President's Day. You're gonna have a Father's Day. You're gonna expect to give him a Father's Day gift. You're probably gonna give him
you better not give me a tie
or a pair of socks or a stupid mug. Listen, your dad is dope. Remember that as dope as your dad is, it's the reasons why you're as dope as you are.
Hey, you know what, my man? I love that so much. And then the next thing I want to ask is, I've enjoyed this conversation so much. Who can I speak to after you? Someone that's influenced you that you think can share lessons like this or something that Elijah can get value out of?
Ooh, somebody that I truly look up to, and he's been a very good friend and a big reason why I love Soundbox. And I told him this too. If I ever had a kid, I would even think about making him a godfather. Dewey. I think Dewey.
Yeah?
Dewey is.
I have respect for Dewey.
He is such a good friend. He is one of the few people that he can say so much with saying very little, because he's so disciplined and so detail oriented. And not only that, but he has such a great sense of humor. And he really, really, truly values these type of conversations.
Yeah.
He understands the importance of mentorship and understanding that as easy as it for you to mentor someone, you also embrace being mentored back.
Yeah.
So yeah, Dewey is such a good man.
Yeah.
And definitely has become a good friend of mine. So yeah, Dewey.
I'll double that. And I'll say, yep, 100%. When I first moved, I didn't know a lot of people. Even though I knew Houston, he invited me over to the house with Taylor, introduced me to like the Houston community of real talk.
That's Dewey, right?
And there were moments when he pulled me to the side and said, hey, I'm worried, or hey, you're better than this right now.
Yep.
Just fearless in his friendship.
Fearless.
And I appreciate that a lot.
He's honest, transparent. He is he's probably going to be the ultimate cool dad. I really think.
100%.
Like Dewey's so cool. Like he doesn't even he's like the most effortless, like cool dad.
Yeah.
So when he has a kid, he's gonna be special. I say Dewey's a good person. Yeah,
I can't wait.
He's one of the dopest people I know.
I'm gonna reach out to him now.
Yeah, you should. It'll be a great show.
I'm excited.
He loves whiskey. Now this man has a palate of whiskey and scotch that's greater than anything I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, he might have a problem.
You gotta be careful when you drink it. I say this every time I've ever gone out with Dewey, I get home at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, and get in trouble. So man. Dewey, and this is a guy.
Here's the thing: Dewey will make sure you get home though.
Oh, he probably the most responsible.
He'll order your Uber for you.
Super responsible, and my wife will never get mad, but she's like, I can't believe you're at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. And I would look at her, I can't believe I'm here at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. Dewey is so you talking about a ninja. He's so ninja and skillful at his.
Yeah.
At his
you can't say
swag.
no.
Dude, you can't say no to Dewey.
It's a respect thing.
Come on, Chris, have another drink. I can't. All right, Dewey, you're right.
You're right.
Dewey just demands our respect, man.
I love it. All right, we're gonna wrap it up, but 2 hours. We're talking about fight.
Oh man, thank you so much, man.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? Tell them where they can find you. Tell them about the Sports Trap. I love everything that you do.
Oh man, I appreciate it. The Sports Trap podcast. It was created by my best friend John Trapp. We've been best friends for over 22 years. We roamed the hallways in high school, skipping class, and
he's a real one, backed off of Daisy.
Oh yeah, you backed off of Daisy. He is a sports enthusiast. He has for over 22 years. He's constantly called me playing devil advocate to get me riled up so I can argue, just so I can say ridiculous and crazy stuff. So that was the whole concept of the show. So if you love Houston sports, if you love best friends talking about sports, even if they don't know what the hell they're talking about, but have a passion for our Houston sports-based teams, or just passion for sports in general, followed with the most creative, most talented person, Qua, who keeps us all together. He is the genius behind
He taught me how to do all this.
Dude, he's a genius. He is probably one of the most talented people I've ever met. All three of us, we come together and we talk sports, and we try to give Houston its own show and avenue. So the Houston Sports Trap podcast, you catch us on all major streaming medias, YouTube, iTunes, you name it, we're on it. So
that's what's up. Go follow him. I love it. I love sports, but I always learn something. Like I don't know, like trivia or history like that.
Yeah.
But when you guys talk, I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Or, I didn't know that. And I love the talk right now about MJ with everything going on. I watched the last 2 episodes yesterday.
So good, better than the first 2.
I didn't realize. I thought it was gonna be all about MJ. We left that sports. We're good.
Next episode.
Yeah, catch him on Sports Trap.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, let's wrap up.
Sure.
That too.
Yeah, man, we'll definitely